Hello and welcome to part 2 of our countdown. We're looking at our predictions from last year.
Hope you enjoyed the first part. Can't wait to share the second part. I think you'd agree the first part was a huge success for the podcast. Few misses as mentioned, but quite a few good hits. Let's see what this one brings.
Let's see if the top 6 is as good.
It's good, yeah.
Let's start with number 6.
Hello and welcome back to the bold prediction list. My name is Sean Connors and this is bold prediction list number 6. And this is a player that I particularly like in redraft. He doesn't have quite the same value in PPR leagues, and I haven't been able to get him in any leagues. So I've been trying to get him at the right price, and everybody seems to be jumping on him much higher. Unfortunately, at this point that we do the video, his ADP puts him in around the 4th round, 5th round, maybe 6th in small leagues, but this is Will Fuller. I think as in redraft leagues he is a touchdown monster. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later on in this video series, but my mind is made up that this guy's definitely got some very big touchdown upside. We saw that when Deshaun Watson played last year. I think that was no fluke. Again, another great red zone target this guy is, and I think he offers great value. The trouble is the ADP keeps climbing, making it harder and harder to own him, but I don't want to reach for him. I want to get him at the right value. So
right, okay, well,
this is a miss. There's no doubt it's a miss. He only achieved just under 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. I believe that's right, isn't it now?
Yes.
So I said 1,000 yards in the video and 8 to 10. So he was on target exactly for that, ironically enough.
Yeah, well, he only played 7 games.
But he didn't deliver it, and unfortunately the injury issues that were there, which I'm normally pretty good at picking up on, I didn't in this player's case. I thought they were behind him, but they were still there. And it didn't work, and we have to say that's a miss.
I think the thing with Fuller is, I mean, obviously it is a miss, but he's not somebody who burns you like Corey Davis does.
I didn't want people to pick him high.
But someone like Derrick Henry can do, where he's rubbish all year and then has a 47 game.
I think what's good about the video, if you take any positives from that particular prediction, is I didn't say for Dynasty, I said for redraft. I made it very, very clear that his ADP was climbing, and I was concerned about it. And I said I would not reach for him, and I never. Ironically enough, I didn't get any shares of him. I think except for one league, and in the end, I was grateful that his ADP kept climbing because he was out of my range, and that's fine.
I think we can agree he was pretty elite when he played.
Yeah,
pretty
touchdown monster when he plays, but he just didn't play enough.
But as we all know, with Will Fuller, it's
injuries are the
issue.
We won't be talking a lot about him on the podcast. Strangely, I won't be.
Number 5, you already have been.
Yeah, well, that's
hello and welcome back to my list for the bold prediction list for 2018, and we are at number 5, and it's a quarterback. They rarely make it into this list. We're going to talk a little bit more around the reasons why quarterbacks actually have more value than people let on. I think we'll do that in this video so we don't duplicate it a bit later on, because I'm giving something away here. There is another one to come, and he comes up higher up the list. Kirk Cousins at 5 is tremendous value. I think this guy can flirt with 40 touchdowns this year. I think he's a 4.5 to 4,000 yards quarterback, easy. I've seen it in Washington. He's got far more weapons in.
Right. It's going to split opinion, this guy, but if we're being honest, I've named the yards. He ended up with 4,100 yards.
Yeah, so he got the 4,000 yards.
He didn't get 40 touchdowns, but he got 30.
So 30 and 1 rushing.
And 1 rushing. Now, you could argue that's a miss, but if you think about it, hang on, he was literally the 20th to 22nd quarterback off the board. He was unfancied. You were getting him late in drafts. He could be your quarterback too. So you had a shot at a better one and him. He might save some teams. I think he's kind of a borderline hit. I don't think it's a full-on hit.
I think he's a mare. He's an average.
But he did finish 7th in redraft league. So from his ADP position, he's
QB 22.
He massively exceeded that. So whichever way your opinion is divided, forget real life, because we can all.
Yeah, I think people hate on him for real life.
Because he doesn't win the big ones.
Yeah, he's got a poor record against teams with winning records in real life. But for fantasy, it's a different matter.
He was very good for me he carried my best ball team with him and Stefan Diggs to a number 2 finish. We only lost out by 7 points in the end from winning.
Yeah, I mean he was solid,
solid,
not spectacular.
But not spectacular. So I'm going to say like you, it's probably it's a borderline. It's on the edge of a big hit, but he didn't quite get there. So it's
He didn't cost you a lot. He didn't do anything spectacular, but he didn't let you down either. He was just a solid option, really.
Still great value down there though for his ADP.
Yeah, so let's go on to number 4.
So far it's not the greatest start, but okay.
Hello, welcome back to Fan Pub. My name is Sean Connors, and welcome back to our bold prediction list. This is number 4. This particular chap is going to become an absolute PPR dime for this year, but he has tremendous redraft value, so obviously he deserves to crack the list. It's Tarek Cohen for this year, a bit like Corey Clement in the bonus one at 13. Tarek Cohen has that upside, the kind of stuff we've already seen in his first year. They definitely like him, the coaches love him, they've talked about using him all over the field. I'm convinced that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to model the Bears' offense on what the Eagles have been doing. That means mismatch. That means using RPO plays. This is where this guy comes into his own. If you can grab him, grab shares of him in any league you can, draft from, trade from if you could, do it. Get this guy, because you are not going to regret it going into this year.
Right, Tarek Cohen.
Huge hit. Massive hit because of his ADP, where you were getting him from, and arguably if you went wide receiver, if you went very heavy wide receiver, zero RB, this is the perfect candidate target, which we identify here. He had 1,169 total yards, 8 touchdowns, and the game scripts, as said in the video, absolutely worked for him, and he threw a passing touchdown. I don't think you can get much more than that.
And if you're playing PPR, we've got 71 catches as well.
So it's huge. And if you picked him up as your running back 4 or 5, you were laughing because you could play 3 running backs all year long, and you probably capitalised on very close. You were a playoff team.
So as we keep saying, fantasy is all about finding the value at the right point. So there's always a consensus list, and a lot of people draft from the list. I mean, if you're an experienced player, you have your own list, but you get an idea when the sort of rounds and the sort of picked players are going to go. So it's about targeting the right ones that are going to return you value for that pick, and he is one that smashed it.
I had him and Saquon Barkley in one redraft league, and I was delighted to have the pair of them together.
I imagine you were,
yeah, they were very good together.
So let's have a look at number 3.
Yes, this is the worst one, I've got to be honest.
Hello and welcome
Worst
to
one,
the
so let's hear this.
Sean Connors. Thank you for following along. This is the bold prediction number 3, and yes, if you've been following along, you realise we're shooting them all in one go. But we have to do that here now, because unfortunately, with the podcast that we run, we have to put our time, when we can, into these podcasts. So we do apologise to anybody that's noticing a few of our videos. We do like to change up the shirts and try our best, but guys, these had to be shot where we could, because we are running out of time. You need this information. This guy we've talked about right away from the beginning of the podcast this year, right up till now, and it's very important to just make sure it's confirmed and he's on the list, and it's Royce Freeman. He is an absolute must-own for this year. Get shares in him.
Right, so
it's a big miss. He ended up with 593 total yards and 5 touchdowns, if memory serves me right on that. But my only saving grace, and it's the only one I can go with on this out, is this. I might be the only podcaster out there that you can research on our deep rookie flyer list, which we'll also go into, where I actually say as a 5th round rookie, the player you should target is Philip Lindsay. Now, if you put the two things together, this is a miss, obviously. But when somebody is telling you to draft an undrafted free agent in Denver, because the guy has heart, desire, and everything you're looking for, and he wasn't even on the Fantasy Pros list, I might be the only podcaster that called that last year. A lot of people have criticised in videos this miss, but I keep turning to them and saying, look at the hit of Philip Lindsay, and that's the one that gets people scared the most, because he came out of nowhere. So yes, it's a miss.
It's a really good point, actually, and part 3 of our Why Should You Watch Us, we'll be reviewing our rookie picks from the last 2 years. Sean said, and that's a spoiler, that Philip Lindsay will be on there. And when we looked at all the podcasts, I mean, we always feel people are trying to catch up to us. And we know a few watch us, and then they catch up with what we're doing. But none of them copied us on Lindsay. Sean picks him out. Like you say, he wasn't in the top 100 consensus rookies on Fantasy.
You couldn't
Pros.
find him on Fantasy.
This is all the experts. Everyone said, "Why didn't you pick Lindsay?" And everyone was saying, "Well, nobody did," and they're wrong, because we did.
Yeah.
And the evidence is there on our page. We will be reviewing it on the next video.
But another good thing about Freeman is here, we talk about it as a dynasty kind of pick, and actually, this is actually quite right, because this year we could argue a lot more about Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman, what's going to happen. Royce Freeman still, with his stock, because he was picked very high, will still have a chance to take that job. So Royce Freeman still could come into his own, but for last year he missed, so that's a miss. So we'll see what happens this year.
Let's move on to number 2.
Yeah. My personal favourite.
Hi, welcome back, fanpop.com. Welcome to bold prediction number 2. This is our prediction for 2019. This may sound a little odd because we're looking ahead to this year, but we did mention this guy earlier. And if you listened to that piece of advice and saw it was trending, you were about to capitalise in Dynasty. So we're going to go back and revisit his name here. It's Josh Allen. Now, you may recall the conversations we had around this guy, his arm strength, the talent, and also the issues that he brought in from college. People talked about his accuracy. Hey, the way it's trending for him, looks like he's going to start the year. Looks like McCarron even if he gets the nod, he's going to have to fight this kid off a lot quicker than most people anticipate. And let's not forget, although it's not broken his collarbone, this is a serious, for the quarterback's nearly season-ending injury. This is serious. So he's had deep bruise, muscle damage, maybe even a tear, who knows. But he's fighting that.
Right, Josh Allen. So this is your favourite.
Well, yeah, because
you had more better picks.
Well, you might say that. You might look at them and think, yeah, Bell was amazing, these were amazing. But I just want to put this out there now that we said that this is a prediction for 2019. So this is a whole year ahead of where we're talking now. This is so easy to gloss past as nothing. Look at podcasts this year and who they say are their sleeper quarterbacks, and Josh Allen is always high on the list. Well, that's a year too late. You see, the reason that, if you look, again, we'll look at the rookie flyer list, we talk about Josh Allen in that video list.
Well,
and I mentioned...
deep in the, pick 30 and below?
Absolutely. We mentioned in that video one key piece of evidence that's missed even by every podcaster that year and every analyst who studies football. I mentioned very clearly in the video his footwork skills, much better than people reckon on. And that proved to be Josh Allen's secret weapon going into last year. As much as he's a rookie and you're not expecting huge things, I say a year ahead. So if you've got shares of Allen, you're about to capitalise right now in Dynasty, because I know, as I've got lots of shares of him, how much value he's suddenly got, because people are coming to me asking, could I possibly take him off your hand for a second round pick? I picked him up in 4th or 5th in some leagues. I want more than that because I know what his value is ultimately going to be, because I believe they're about to turn a corner, Buffalo. And that's a really great prediction because it's a year ahead of the curve. That's a massive year ahead.
And that's a key point that we keep saying. We're ahead of the curve. So, if you follow us, then you will be. We've had so many thank you comments and, emails and, thanking us for, a lot of the predictions we've got. I mean, Sean's been telling everybody they'll listen since December and before that Gurley, massive red flags, trading for what
from the beginning of this season, and we're going to say this now, we will share this with you. It will be part of the bold prediction list.
We're talking end of May now.
But I was saying this back as soon as Al said to me, it was a comment he made, and it goes back to the Rams run into the playoffs. Al said, clearly, I think he's trading treacle, and what's going on. And I started to look very carefully at the tape of Gurley, and my mind started doing somersaults in terms of what I was seeing on the field and the sort of stuff you expect to see from a top caliber running back. And although he had a couple of moments through the run that the Rams had into the playoffs, I think what Al identified was a real massive moment, and it was a light bulb moment, and it's made a huge impact on my prediction list for this year. And there'll be no surprise to anybody that when I say,
well, we'll hold that because we'll have a video on.
We'll talk about that, but another time. But anyway, needless to say, yes, thank you for mentioning it, Al.
Okay, well, let's have a look at number one.
A big hit, I think you'd agree, Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
This is what you're waiting for. FanPop.com. This is it, the full prediction number one for this year, where we turn the tables on their heads. So we mentioned this with Kirk Cousins. I'm not going to belittle the point. What you're looking for in fantasy, isn't it? Something exciting. That's what you want. You want something that can win your league. You want a bold prediction, number one. If you look at the bold predictions from this channel over the last couple of years, let's look at them. David Johnson. That was a good prediction 2 years ago. We talked about Gronk last year and Brady together in a stack. I think that would have got you in the playoffs. It certainly got me in the playoffs. And I said anybody that followed that and used their first round, because you could have got Brady in the third and Gronk in the second. You would have had a great year, quite frankly. This guy offers this kind of exciting upside that we rarely see, and it's going to turn the tables on its head. Elite quarterbacks, he's a metrics forgotten. It's for some reason, I can't understand this yet, all the experts have started to trend off, and actually we've all followed it, we've all agreed with them, we've all gone, oh yeah, that makes sense, and because we're all doing it, quarterback values are dropping. Well, that's great, you can capitalise on a quarterback value, and that's nice. But elite is elite, and Deshaun Watson is elite. Now, we've only seen a 7-day sample size. He can't carry that on for 16 games, of course he can't. But let's think about this for a minute. Let's just consider this for an upside. If we want to talk about ceilings, let's think about it. Could he get 4,000 yards? I think that's very capable. Why? Well, their schedule, number one, is absolutely perfect for them, both running and catching. Do they have an elite wide receiver? Yes, they do. DeAndre Hopkins, who was brilliant with Deshaun Watson. Do they have a number two to take pressure off him? Yes, they do, because they have what we've already talked about on this list, Will Fuller, who's also on this list. You then have a running game. Well, we can argue the running game's a bit of a plodder, but Lamar Miller's going to capitalise on the soft schedule. Opportunity trumps talent. Absolutely. Look at the defence. There are pieces missing, they're all coming back. Everything trends up for this team for this year. So if you just take the schedule alone, I believe Deshaun Watson can get you 4,000 yards. To be honest, I believe he can get you 4,500. I think I'm going to shock a few people with that prediction, but I think it's there for him to grab. What makes him very exciting, of course, is the running outside. The guy will continue to run. He has torn both ACLs. Is he going to be around in the NFL for long? No.
Right, okay, so you said 4,000 yards, maybe it's a 4,500. He actually got 4,165.
It's a big hit because no one was predicting him to get 4,000 yards. In fact, most predictions were about 3,000 to 3,200. So this is a massive hit. Every 1,000 yards in standard is worth 40 fantasy points. So what you're looking at there, just on the 4,000 yards, is 160 fantasy points in standard. Sprinkling his rushing yards, which we didn't capture on the video, but you can play it on and see it for yourself. I predict 700. He got 551 and 5 rushing touchdowns to go with it. So that's another 55 points in standard. And then you've got the 5 TDs, which is another 30 points. And we mustn't lose sight of he had 26 TDs on top of that. So this guy, no wonder he finished in the top 5 list last year for quarterbacks. He was rightly up there. And he started slow.
He was.
So
I mean, obviously, coming off a year of an ACL, he was a bit
and he lost Will Fuller as well. But things just kept rolling for him. And for me, it's a hit. It's not a massive hit. It's not what you want as your number one. But to quantify this a little bit, he hit everything you asked for. And I did say the year before that within 2 years, Patrick Mahomes is the guy to own, and that proved to be the case. And what this illustrates here, I think, which is beautiful for it. The metrics that everybody else has forgotten is quarterbacks. They're still...
Not the league, obviously PPR, other people are more important than standard.
Certainly formats of course make a difference, but in every format, quarterbacks are the very best, if you get it right, do make a difference to your overall outcome.
Is anyone owning Patrick Mahomes
you would have really capitalised as I did on several leagues. So,
right, well, what do you think? So, I think... looking back and doing a quick summary,
very proud of that list.
What we did. On airing quality, if you picked the bust in Lev Bell and Fournette, they were the only 2 busts on your list.
Well, you're calling out
and
James
they were
Conner.
the 2 biggest busts of the year.
You're calling out James Conner and saying Samuels as potential league winners, which they proved to be in many cases. You've predicted the bounce back for Hilton. We've named Travis Kelce as the number 1 tight end, but not just named him, but given the stat line.
He'd be number 1 in Dynasty.
We said he'd be number 1 in Dynasty, and that proved to be very accurate. Kenny Galladay came out as a wide receiver 3 to deliver wide receiver 1 numbers, which is huge. We got Will Fuller wrong, we got Royce Freeman wrong, and we certainly got Anthony Miller wrong, but there are a lot to like about them. Kirk Cousins, no matter how you want to argue it, ended up being 7th.
Hate him or
not. Tarek Cohen was fantastic for everybody, no matter where you drafted him, he was absolutely supreme. We talked about Royce Freeman. Dynasty 2019 predicting a year ahead of the curve. That's so big because anybody can tell you something this year. I can easily say Josh Allen's a sleeper for this year, but I predicted it last year. I don't have to worry about it now. It's already out there in the public domain, which is great. And Deshaun Watson probably could be, arguably, the best quarterback with Mahomes for this year. You could argue with Mahomes' issues with his team around him. There are some issues, although I do love Kansas and the way they score points. Deshaun Watson might be the number 1 this year in terms of quarterbacks, which is possible. So it's a really great pick there.
Just to play on this and tell you why you should be listening. If you look at our comments, best kept secret on the internet. Thank you so much. There's people thanking us for all sorts of predictions there.
I grabbed Philip Lindsay in the last round as a flyer on your piece of advice as a great comment, and I thought it was a stupid pick to only find out he was actually the best RB I had on my team and carrying me into the playoffs.
People are trading him for first and a player or whatever because Sean's quite happy for you to trade him now. You've got your value out of him.
I mean, don't get me wrong, this year is a different ballgame, and this is where the skill of analytics come in, I think, because people get the one thing I've learned throughout over the few years that we worked together on this podcast is we all get trapped into players we love. I'm no different than anybody we do. That's what happens. But the thing I've learned really quickly in the last 3 years is I squeeze every inch of value out of the situation and then I dump them. As horrible it is, like a cold relationship to the side, and I move on to the next player.
It's all about, if you're a gambler, you always look for value, and it's about, even if you're trading on stocks, it's about buying low and selling high. And that's how you do good dynasty teams, good redraft teams, getting that value at the right point. There's no point in picking someone who's a great round 7 player and thinking I must have him and picking him round 3. You've lost your value.
This is why building your own draft board, isn't it? Is the key to all fantasy. Forget
where are you happy to take the player?
What I hope you do, and I think this is the key, is what I hope happens is that you listen to myself and Al, and you squeeze out of that the best piece of advice you can, because you hopefully buy into it. And then add your own piece on top. And please share it with us what you're doing.
It's all about add your own thoughts in as well. If you don't like a player, don't draft him because we say so. I mean, you've got to be happy with him as well. So it's all about that. That's part 2 of our countdown. We're going to be telling you about our rookie flyers list. We're going to be showing you for Dynasty why you should be listening to us for that.
It's a very strong list where you could argue that 8 out of 12 are accurately on the nose and 4 fall away. That's incredible, because most of the time most people are lucky if they get 50%. So it's really amazing, and we're not doing it over a large list, it's a short list, so you're not going to just nail a few ones.
I think the word is getting out there, because our subscriber list has jumped from 150 to nearly 1,000, so we must be doing something right, and we appreciate your time for listening, and we appreciate every subscription we can get. So and leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, and hopefully we can give you some good advice going forward.
We are going to nail some really good advice for this year.
I know Sean is chomping at the bit to give you that advice.
I really am.
So stay tuned, hit the bell, and you'll get notified when the videos come out. Thanks very much for watching.
Take care. Yeah, that's great.